Yo, what's up? This is Splendid Radio on Pharcyde TV with my co-host Jeremy Scipio.
What's going on, people?
Chilling, man. Glad to have you back, man.
Of course,
Been out there doing your thing.
Yeah, man, just working, man, between comedy and production.
Yeah, man, making it happen. We got a very special guest coming straight up out of Huntington Beach. Choo! You know what I'm saying? A guy that kept a lot of heartbeats beating during the
Yes, sure did.
The horribly depressing times. You know what I'm saying? Probably saved a couple lives, but we'll get into that. You know what I'm saying? We got Machete. So when was the first time you heard hip hop and what was the song, if you remember?
First song that I can remember when I was younger, I was in New Jersey. It was Christmas. My oldest brother came down and put on the Body Count album. And There Goes the Neighborhood. And then after that, that's when I started getting into Wu-Tang, Lost Boys. Lost Boys was always one of my tops. And then when I moved down south, I went straight into the Dungeon Family and was all about everything Outkast, Killer Mike, Cujo, Goody Mob, everybody down there just ripped it for me. And that was like, was that 97, 98? So I was like in 7th grade, bootlegging those albums.
Dang.
Yeah.
Where you from?
Born in Jersey, raised in Florida, and then been in California now for 15 years.
Hey.
Damn, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. And you know, it's funny because I had a birthday party when I was 21, and I had the drummer from Body Count. He played. I believe he passed away. Now one of the original drummers, I believe he passed away. But Body Count was hard, man.
Yeah. That pissed my parents off. It was hilarious because he played it like on Christmas.
Hey man, people don't get
ready for it. And I was like, what is that? Because back then I was like listening to hair metal, I think, when I was little. So I was like, I forget what, like Motley Crue and shit. But yeah, that's what like really was like bing. And then I started getting into the Gravediggers too, and then Wu-Tang and stuff. Yeah.
Nah, that's dope. That's dope.
Proper answer.
Yeah, man. You came with you know what I'm saying? you came with we never had that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, no, we had a lot. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Well, no, what? I don't know what you're talking about. You said you came with that.
Oh yeah, no, I was just saying that, man. He just he came with we never had that, man. We never had that, but that's dope.
Yeah,
that's dope.
Glad to bring something new.
Nah, but that's why you're a curator. You know what I'm saying? So that's, you know, that could be the thing. So how do you think hip hop influences the world?
Well, it influences it to where it keeps it moving. It's been exposing a lot, but it's slowly getting to the people that it really needs to hear what they're saying, because in the beginning, like if you listen to the lyrics of hip hop, they were telling the story of what they were living in, what their life was like, and they were it's almost like they were asking for help and trying to explain what was happening to them in their scenarios and then in their communities. And when it got out, a good amount of people understood that, but then the rest just kind of heard it as music. And then I believe the music industry kind of extorted that and was leading into hip hop now, and just made it about doing the drugs instead of the drug dealers trying to get out of the community and saying what they're doing now. It's just druggies being manipulated to transport stuff across state lines up from Spotify.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's
but it's been a good voice, and it still is. It's just some stations and streaming networks choose different voices to put out there instead of the voices that are actually active and that are actual artists and actually trying to say something to the people.
Two things come to mind. I watched somebody sent me this video of Midnight Miracle. You familiar with that
Oh yeah.
podcast? Yeah, it's Most Def Talib and Dave Chappelle's podcast, but sometimes Dave Chappelle don't be there. They had Most Def and Talib going back and forth. Basically, Funkmaster Flex DJs for Talib for free, right? Talib tries to pay him. Funkmaster Flex says, "Oh man, I can't set money from you, bro." He's like, "Why not?" He goes, "Because when y'all was on the come up, like when the Black Star album was out, he goes, I purposely did not play y'all records." He goes, because I was mainstream. I was trying to be mainstream and I viewed y'all as underground. He goes, but I didn't realize I was just playing into the, you know what I mean, into the myth, you know what I mean? Like it was suppressing, you know, the more prominent voice as opposed to, you know, picking up the other stuff. And what else comes to mind? Oh, Leor Cohen. This is a cancel talk right here. He was on the Breakfast Club and they was talking about how did we talk about this here before?
I'm sure, well, I know that I know that we've talked, not necessarily, not in the last year or so.
Oh, okay, good. Because I just remember, it sounds familiar, but basically, let's give me deja vu. But basically, Leor Cohen was, they were saying like how, you know, the people that they pick, how do they pick their talent, you know? And he was like, yeah, but a lot of people you pick tends to be talking about, you know, black on black crime, killing each other and all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, or doing drugs, like you were talking about, you know, and he was saying like, well, don't you feel like, you know, feel partially responsible, you know, for a lot of the deaths and all this stuff and the drug use that's going on with the youth? And he goes, yeah, but you know, it's sad. He said, but I gotta make a living.
Oh man, that's horrible, man.
This is Leor Cohen of Def Jam Universal Music Group, and also he's the current head of YouTube Music, by the way. So with that being said, how would you innovate hip hop?
How would I would just bring the music and the artists that are true to their story and have the creativity of making new music and creating it to more people, more platforms, more festivals. Like I want to be running my own festivals, and I want to be able to pick the music of the artists that really deserve to get that money, and not the artists that are just stealing from them and ripping them off, taking their style, mixing up their words, and just trying to make a profit for streams and stuff. So my goal would be to really showcase those artists that are really doing it and that are doing it out of their heart. And and there's just that are changing the game and doing it like with the true spirit of hip hop and telling their story and spreading the story so that people know what's actually happening in the world and not just reading it in the news. That's usually weird, or they spin it, you know, like we need to hear voices from actual artists, because true artists know what's happening and they're speaking from their heart and they're not jaded on certain things.
Yeah.
Sure.
I would say, what's your favorite genre of music other than hip hop?
Other than hip hop, be Motown and then reggae. Huge Motown. I grew up in like a jazz family. I grew up around jazz people and stuff. So like jazz really got me into a lot of different music, but like Motown was just always just, I'm like a slow, easy cruiser. So like cruising down like a beach somewhere with Motown or some kind of funk, like that's where it's at.
Well, what other element of hip hop do you like other than rapping?
Oh, the art, the graffiti, the clothing, the self-design that they have when artists make their own stuff. They put their own flavor, their own color into it, their own like with how they see their music, and they put it in their clothing, their hats, their shoes, and their art pieces. Like the whole art is amazing out of that culture.
That's dope. All right. Now we about to see the thing is with Splendid, we try to show people who you are, then get into all the stuff you do. So we kind of building you as a person.
Yeah.
Like understand the speed limit. We gonna start, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna start moving forward and catching up. So your favorite hip hop movie?
Favorite hip hop movie? I mean, it's gotta be Belly. That intro scene is unbelievable.
Man,
Cinematography is the best. When I was younger, when I used to skate, all my intro parts was Soul to Soul. That intro was always that song. The whole bringing in Gumbo in there and everything, and then having all the hip hop artists in there of that time, and it wasn't cheesy like how they did Belly 2.
I mean, I think that's. I don't think we should acknowledge that ability.
Yeah, it shouldn't count at all. But Belly was just. I've watched that movie a million times. Like,
yeah, I'll say that. I'll say in Belly, to sum it up, I'll say the movie was a music video, like a theatrical music video.
Yeah,
but
you had Hype Williams.
But if you take the first, let's say 1 minute, it was like the dopest video ever, man. From walking to the colors and the scene.
I mean, even how they took out the beat to however do you want it, and it's like however do you need it. I'm like, this is my favorite version of the song.
It's the best.
Like that. Like when I hear the real song, I'll be like, nah, do it the way Belly did it. It don't sound right. It's too much music. Can you do less? Yeah, that's the hardest intro ever. I watched Spoilers, If You Care, which I doubt you do, but they just released another House Party movie.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, okay. Well, you saw they pay homage to the Belly scene, which was great. It was
That's what it was. I was just trying to think of that. I was like, I just saw a movie where they just did Belly. It was that movie.
That was tight. It was kind of a waste though. Oh, that's crazy. So we have a chat. Basically, chat is the people that come and chime in on topics or whatever. First question somebody asked is, how's your day?
Oh, amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Next question is, what's your favorite restaurant in Orange County?
Easy. That's Iapono Cafe in Costa Mesa off 17th Street. Amazing fucking Hawaiian food. And the staff is impeccable. And the food is the same every freaking time. I never had a bad dish out of that place.
I hope this is the answer that you wanted, chat. Who is the best chef in the whole wide world?
Best chef in the whole wide world?
Shit. Don't answer.
That's gonna be me.
You're gonna lose a friend.
That's me.
Oh, you?
Me.
Okay, all right.
I cook anything, anytime, anywhere, any style, any kind of type of food. I can make it as good as the person or even better.
Wow. Okay.
And I put that to the test over and over and over, and I haven't failed.
All right, Gordon Ramsay, I see you. Last one. Okay, that's the answer he was going for. All right, last one. Belly or Top Shotters?
Ooh. Belly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, now tell us about the name Machete.
Machete came about. I mean, I had a bunch of nicknames growing up randomly because I just do stupid shit and have fun. But Machete came from because my mom used to go to Haiti and stuff, and she's a nurse, so she would go down there and help people and stuff. And for some reason, she bought a machete off a kid in the street and brought it back to me. She brought my older brothers all pots and stuff, and then she's like, "For some reason, I got you this." And my buddies in Florida started this sport called wake skating, which is like wakeboarding with skate shoes on, so you're not strapped into the board. And we used to go down like rivers and dams and stuff. And I would take that machete and I would clear out the dams and the rivers and the shrubbery and film them do it. So they started calling me Machete, and that one kind of stuck on, which I'm not complaining.
So the Danny Trejo movie was a biopic about you, right?
Yeah.
I see it now.
Nah, that's dope. That's
Yeah.
dope. What was the soundtrack to your like your juniors? Did you go to junior high school or middle school out here or back east?
Back east. I came out here when I was like 24.
Okay. Then what was your middle school soundtrack?
Middle school, that would be pretty much Goody Mob, Outkast, and then in the punk world would be like Pennywise and Guttermouth, and then surprisingly the Grateful Dead. So I had like a weird mix.
Oh man, that's dope. I mean, junior, and the reason I ask this question every episode, because a person's junior high school soundtrack, that's when you kind of, I mean, some people come from families, you know, I'll say that I was probably different. Jeremy may have been different, where you grow up and you're just like your parents or whoever, you're exposed to good music, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But like some people, man, they don't even start to hear music until junior high school. You know what I'm saying? They may have parents that like, man, you know what I'm saying? Either they don't have a musical taste like that, or
I agree.
you know, some households, it's like, man, you ain't playing no music up in here, man. You know?
Yeah, I was like, I grew up in like a jazz household, so I was able to like really learn and appreciate music.
Yeah, my mother's a twin, and it's funny how like you know, the household I grew up in, you know, my mother, she had great taste in music, so I listened to all type of stuff that, you know, they consider secular, as opposed to my cousin who grew up with the other twin who just didn't listen to any of that in the house. But I was grateful because me and pretty much a lot of my musical tastes coincided with my mother. But I remember the day that we went in different directions, and that was the day that Eminem show came out. And I played it for her thinking that, oh, this will be all right. It's always a button that reminds my mother to be a parent. And yeah, Eminem was that button. Yeah. She was like, yeah, I don't think you should be listening to this. So, he talking about killing his mama and doing drugs. Yeah, that don't sound right.
Yeah, my parents didn't like the music I was listening to because of the drug talk and stuff, but they always like gave me the freedom to listen to it. I just couldn't blast it around them because I used to argue because my dad was a huge Frank Sinatra's fan, and I'd be like, "What do you think Day and Night is? He's doing drugs from day and night. Doesn't know what time. I'm sorry, he didn't say drug in it, but same shit. My music."
Yeah, man, this is comic. I know he has a whole bit on how music would be way worse if drugs wasn't involved. He said some of the best records ever made was that people were under their influence.
Yeah, most art and music is under influence of something.
Yeah, but say no to drugs, kids. What job gave you the best life experience?
Best life experience, probably because I was young age cooking, being a chef. I ran my first restaurant at 16, and that gave me a pretty good experience because I was able to interact with a lot of different people that weren't like me or different from me, and I was able to like communicate and have conversations and be in the same room with people and hear their stories and where they came from, either good or bad. And that probably gave me a more open mind at a young age instead of what everybody else was at my age, when they just have to listen to their parents and their family. And some parents and family have certain views, you know, and they get washed into those views. And I was able to see and be with so many different people and be able to learn and appreciate and listen. So cooking was the thing that really got my mind open to the real human experience.
Sound like you were about to say mouth open. Cooking really got my mouth open.
Yeah, you got my mouth open too. I was eating everything. And probably put my foot in it too many times.
Let's go.
Yeah. So there was a question that I ask every week, and it's something that made my stomach really sink. And it was kind of like when I was in my senior year of high school, and I was never into sports too much. I played music a little bit, but kind of hustling, but not necessarily hustling anything illegal or nothing like that. But like hustling has just always been my thing. Like that's the thing that makes me go or whatever. And I remember being in the 12th grade, and I was kind of like, dang, what are you gonna do when you graduate? You know what I'm saying? So the question would be, when you were in your senior year of high school, what did you think was gonna happen once it was over? Like what, as far as what you were gonna be doing?
Yeah, so my senior year of high school, I was already over being a chef at that point because I was running a restaurant and going to school at the same time and working at so many restaurants from 16 till then. I was looking into going into Wall Street, so I kind of like pretty much fucked off my senior year and didn't really care about my grades. And then when I saw the Wall Street world, when I got to experience that, I was like, fuck that. And I was just like, no, can't do that. So like when I was in high school, I was just seeing like a lot of money in my head. I was like, I don't need to go to college. I had a hookup on Wall Street. I'll go out there, make a ton of money, live that weird lifestyle. But then when I physically got there and saw it, I was just like, and my hookup, which was my cousin, and he told me, he's like, yeah, man, I had to do this. You don't. And I was like, cool, I'm out. Thank you for saying something. Usually, like when I get into something, I have to see it all the way through because I hate giving up and I hate walking away from stuff. But I've been very blessed with trying a lot of stuff and people in that industry going, no, just take off. This ain't for you. And I was like, sweet. That was super stressful seeing the actual real Wall Street and stuff, and being like, because I was just a beach kid, smoke weed, surf, skate, and just happy. And then being thrown into New York City like that, and it was just like, I'm gonna go back to Florida.
Chew you up and spit you out, man.
Yeah, they didn't spit me out, didn't chew me up. I just walked away. I didn't allow that shit to chew me up. I knew better. I saw that, and I was like, and then I got the heads up to get out, and I got out.
Yeah, so you was down there with the bull.
I was down there on that floor where they show the stuff down. I got able to walk down there, hang out there. My brother was already ahead of me there and working it, and I was just like, people just screaming and yelling at each other nonstop. And then they go right out there and go gamble and do everything like Wolf of Wall Street. And it's like,
Wall Street.
I was like, that shit looks cool for a weekend, but your whole life? No.
I think of Wolf of Wall Street and Trading Places.
Yeah.
Trading Places made it look like Vegas. It was,
yeah.
you see the big old thing out here. They had their bull.
They definitely got more lights in Vegas in there.
Oh yeah. Yo, we got a couple more chat questions. This is from Lisa. Was there a particular hip hop song that influenced you at a young age? We already asked that, huh?
Well, you said, I think you said group, but like specific song. I mean, it's definitely would have to be Outkast, and then it would be Aquemini.
Okay.
Aquemini really struck me hard, and because that's all I listened to really on like loop with CDs and stuff. Was I got really stuck into the Outkast and the Dungeon Family, and me and my best friend would always listen to it. And I remember always like on the way to school, it was always like Aquemini.
Marvel versus DC, you got
Marvel.
Yeah, that's not an easy answer.
No, and I'm not. I mean, I collected comics when I was little, and the movies are cool, but to me, it's just cool.
You collected seriously?
When I was younger, I mean, I still have them in my mom's closet, probably, or attic. I think she put them somewhere.
What was the popular storylines when you first got into it?
Well, I got to it is probably Wolverine, but what really got me was it was Image Comics. They made a cartoon about it on MTV, was the Max, and it was this heroin junkie, and he
that's
would get all
wild.
fucked up, and he would turn into the Max and go into the Max world where he would save his girlfriend and stuff. And that one was dope because because it was a little bit more gorier and it wasn't
The
so
animation was
cartoony.
crazy.
Yeah, it was that, and then there was a couple other ones under that same label.
Excuse me real quick. So you said the superhero was a junkie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when he would take his heroin, he would turn into the Max and will go into the universe that the Max was, and he was this big like purple beast, and he had to constantly save his like girlfriend that was dressed like a caveman.
It's a lot, man. It's like the Hulk. No, like Venom meets Deadpool meets the Tick. You know, it's very abstract. If you ain't into that type of stuff, it's very
got a lot going on with it, man. I had to watch it a couple times, and then I saw some stuff on Google, and then I looked at, because in Venom they said that they had a relationship together or something like that, or they liked each other's.
Oh yeah, Venom's gay for sure.
Wait, what are you talking about? What's that you're talking about? You talking about the symbiote?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's the whole thing, is it don't like living on its own. So it needs a host to hold on to in order for it to thrive.
But then when he holds on to the host for so long, he loves them.
Yeah, I mean that's actually the reason why I hate Spider-Man, because it's heartbroken. That was his first host.
So I watched the new Venom, the new one, like with the newer, like maybe like 2021 or whatever. I watched it 3 times, and I tried to make a correlation between them two having a relationship, but I couldn't catch it. I saw people on Google, that said that happened. So
they're not gonna do that movie is the beginning of it. So the people are talking about that just know the whole story.
Okay.
So like they do, like, because they have that chatter back and forth, like
I
either
thought
best friend chatter or a relationship chatter.
Now that
That's
makes
what
sense.
they're talking about. Yeah,
because I saw it 2 more times after they said that, and I was like, I don't see this. I'm like, is it something that I'm really missing right now? So okay, that makes sense.
Look, it's, when you talk about comic book lore, it's so deep that, not one sentence or one, it's like any blanket observations when it comes to comic books is so hard to like you can say, yeah, but then it'd be a whole arc, like, nah. But it's just kind of how it is. And they're always retconning things over and over. So it's kind of hard to keep up. But I say when I first started watching or reading comic books, it was 2 specific arcs that was going on. And a lot of people view them as the worst arcs ever. One was the Return of Superman, the Death of Superman, whatever, 96. Like, they finally did it with Justice League, but yeah, people hate that. And the other one was the Spider-Man Clone Saga. People always hate that, but my favorite one is a Scarlet Spider. That's like my favorite hero. Like when I draw Spider-Man, I like to draw that one because he don't have lines running through his body, so I can draw faster. But yeah, I just thought.
Y'all make me feel robbed, man. You guys really know about comic books. Like I just got a little light entertainment, a cartoon here or there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. It just shoot, my mom would be in the laundromat, and then they had like the little thing, like magazines. I just pick it and I just go through it, and that's what I got hooked. And any neighborhood that had a comic book store, I was in there all the time.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope. I
was addicted.
So your favorite superhero? Machete.
Would be the Max.
The Max. So obscure. So obscure.
That's my life.
That's hardcore, man. That's hardcore.
So another superhero got arrested today. Donald Trump. Man, what are your thoughts when they finally got him in the orange jumper?
Well, they never, when you're that high caliber of politics, you never really get an orange jumper. They probably already released them. It's all a game. Like they just play us all. So it's just, that stuff is just, I mean, there's like, oh yeah, so he's getting arrested for paying off a porn star. It's like, I feel like most of the presidents did that already. Like, so they're not gonna arrest them. They're just trying to dog and pony this shit and just disguise it to something else to get us hating each other for some stupid reason.
Hey man,
So
great. Oh, I'm sorry, Jerry.
No, I was gonna say he getting that Martha Stewart treatment.
Yeah.
Like, yo, his cell got carpet.
Mhm.
It's like,
Yeah, you'd be
it's
out there
like, I
playing
need to go to the
tennis ball.
bathroom. Thank you.
I would have bet a year of my house notes and a year of my car notes. Well, anyway, yeah, we'll just say a year of car notes that he was not gonna go in handcuffs. If he would have walked anywhere in New York in handcuffs, he would be the next president. Just on a rebellion straight. They were not gonna give people that visual. And I'm not saying I'm the sharpest tool in the in the shed, but it's no way people were gonna get that image, man.
Well, his lawyers say he's like Biggie and Tupac, so I think he's gonna get assassinated soon. Yeah, that's what they said. They was like, he's like Biggie, he's like Tupac. I don't know what that means.
Oh man, he's probably a closet rapper, man.
I'm about to say, none of them ran for president, so I don't know what that means. The only thing they got in common is they both ain't here.
Hey man, they have the most streamed album ever. You know what I'm saying? About to hook it up. So now we're gonna get into who you are. We built it up a little bit, so now we're gonna speed it up. So Huntington Beach Patio.
Yeah.
Tell us what's up with that.
So that started right in the beginning of COVID when me and a couple of homies were watching the news, and you know, it was our first lockdown ever. So we weren't sure. Everybody's saying like, oh, this happened. I'm watching a lot of my friends lose their jobs or their jobs on hold because they can't physically go to their work. They can't work from home. And me and my best partner, EA, best friend, we are always traveling to shooting shows, concerts, festivals, doing conventions and expo. So we were like, shit, we're about to get stuck, like, and not do anything. And we're both hustlers, so we know how to like survive and make money and figure it out. So we weren't too worried about like the lockdown how some people were, because they were physically losing their jobs. And since we were like, well, if we're gonna get locked in Huntington, we got to do something. So my homie Nomadic, he ended up staying with me so we could start like making music and working on stuff, because he's amazing in that category and other categories. But we built a little stage in the backyard, and I already had a bar built before, so we put that out there, and we did our first show. I believe it was Mr. Keys came, and he brought like a dope reggae artist, and there's probably like 20 of us, and it was awesome. We were like, this is cool, and we were like, oh, we did it. And then the people that we invited were like, you guys gonna do that again? You guys gonna do that again? So we're like, yeah, let's do it again. And we just kept doing it, and the community kept growing, and like I made it a space for like my friends and other people that were barbers, tattoo artists, like hairstylists, like waiters and stuff, that all didn't have jobs anymore, and they were all just stuck in their house, and they didn't really know, because no one knew really what to do. So we figured we had this space, we could bring them over. I cook them a healthy meal. There'd be alcohol there, some greens for everybody, and we'll just let everybody have some time to where they didn't have to sit there and listen to the news all day and all the bad news coming in and stuff. And they didn't have to bring any money, because I'm pretty good at getting stuff sponsored. So I made everything free for everybody, so they didn't have to worry about money. They didn't have to worry about politics. They didn't have to worry about the news. And when I cook, I put a shit ton of lion's mane and everything, so that would help their bodies out, so they would at least get one healthy meal, because everybody's postmating and Uber eating McDonald's and Jack in a Box and all these fast food things, sitting at home not doing anything. So I wanted to get a good healthy meal in everybody, get everybody some plant medicine in them, and happiness and joy, because stress makes disease. So if I was able to like get some stress off some of these people and have a time for them to like release and be happy and talk to everybody, and it worked out. And I thought it was only going to last a couple of months, and we're about to hit the 3-year mark. But yeah, that's pretty much the HB Patio.
Man, I remember I did it, man. That was fun, man. I ain't gonna lie. I brought my boy, and he was kind of new coming around with me. So he just was like, man, this is what comedy like. And, you know, every time I said something, just the crowd go crazy. You know, then, you know, homeboy with the man butter. They had food, you know, they had libations, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just, it was a good time, you know. And then during the pandemic, it was like, that's all you had. Like, we didn't have much.
Yeah, especially for comics too. I found out when we first started doing it, my buddy who runs the comic show, Zach Miller, so he started bringing the comics, and we started finding out that, which I didn't realize because I'm not a comic and I wasn't really in the scene, is they didn't have a place to go. Like musicians and artists, they all had studios and bands and producers to hang out with and make stuff. But when I realized that, like, comics where they just sit at their house and tell jokes in the mirror, like, so we had the only crowd and the only people. So it was like they were able to come down and practice. They were able to come down and keep their craft moving forward. And that was like one of the biggest eye openers that I got to witness. And I was like, holy shit. And hearing from the comics and telling me how like that first year, because that first year there was like nothing happening anywhere. So, and they were able to come down, and our crowd was just so good. I mean, we get them nice and high, but like they were like, because I was never like a big, like, I love comedy, but like seeing it in bars and stuff was always kind of weird, because the sound was always kind of like too loud, and then there was always heckling. Or if you go to a comedy club, it's like you got to sit there and you have to like have 2 drinks out all the time, and like you're just chilling, and it's like cool to go once in a while, but like the experience that happened, that was created by me and then everybody that was part of it, the comics, the guests, all my homies that helped out on everything, we created this different space, it seemed like, and the audience was just on fire. Like when I go back and edit and I hear the audience, I'm like, holy shit, like that sounds like, because I mean, we get like up to 100 something people back there, but a lot, like I was in the beginning, I was trying to keep it to like 35 to 45 people, and it just got too popular. And but yeah, it was just the sound, and everybody was like, I mean, we would have a couple of hecklers now and then, but I would smack them in the back of the head. But it's just, yeah, it was just the comedy nights just blew up, and it made me fall in love with stand-up comedy even more, instead of like, because I just grew up like watching Eddie Murphy, like Cat Williams is like my #1 favorite comic that's alive. And like I would just see like their HBO specials or like whatever, and that shit was cool. And I wish I would be able to see them live. But now being able to see all these other comics that don't get that spotlight, I'm like, holy shit, these motherfuckers are funny. And getting to see all different types of comics and different styles and stuff, like it's just amazing and just inspirational.
Yeah, man. I just think like that vibe was, it was like, because you know, obviously we had a lot of outdoor shows, but the HB Patio is like iconic, man. It's funny because comics were like fighting over doing the spot so much to where it's like this one girl, she was trying to bribe me, so she was like, oh man, can you do this one spot? Like she just said in Huntington, and she was like, I'll get, you know, I can't pay you, but I'll get you next time. You should drive me out. I was like, man, those my people. What you talking about, girl? Like, how you going? Yo, offer me something I'm already cool at? What?
Yeah. I know, when I heard, like, because we get booked out like 3 months in advance. When I first found that out like a year or so ago, and like I had to like plan 3 months out for me to have a day off at my place, I was like, holy shit. I'd have to call Zach, like, Zach, man, April 2nd, man, I gotta go out of town, man. Can we cancel it? He's like, man, come on, I already booked it. I'm like, it's 3 months out.
Well, you know, Zach was running stuff for a minute, man.
Yeah.
Dude, I've been knowing him since I say 2012, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like Zach, he wanted people to believe in me. You know, he used to run a gas lamp
Yeah.
in Long Beach. And that was cracking. So yeah, just that whole vibe, man. He's a whole vibe by himself.
Yeah, he is. He's an excellent host and vibe and like curator and he gets along with so many people to where it's like he's not like a douche.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, how many hats do you wear?
Like, let's see, I cook, I design, I edit, I run businesses. I'm kind of model sometimes. Now I'm DJing.
You ain't gonna skip past that. Model.
Yeah, people like because I get always sponsorships. So like people ask me to shoot with their products or their clothing or stuff. And I'm like, all right, I'll get
I'm about to Google Machete and a leotard and see what pop up.
Oh, it'll pop up for sure. That was 1992.
That's funny.
No, I don't put on dresses.
Oh, man.
Nah.
Y'all wild, man. Y'all wild. Your most iconic moment.
Whew. Most iconic moment so far. I mean, being at the Kaya Fest in I think it was San Bernardino. Where was it? I think it was San Bernardino, and I had the Marley family wristbands, so I was able to be back in the only spot that the whole Marley family was allowed to hang out in. And I got to be back there with Damian Marley, Skip Marley, Ziggy Marley, and like a bunch of others. And it was just the energy and the feel of being able to just be in the same room where they're not even performing, they're just all hanging out and everybody's smoking was pretty iconic for me, I think.
What's your ultimate goal?
Ultimate goal is to be able to make enough money off my businesses to fund other people's businesses that are chasing their passions, and to be able to help out with the food deserts that are in certain areas in certain cities that only survive off liquor store food. I want to be able to put in a store kind of like an organic Mother's, but for the price that the community can afford, and be able to get them the food that they need, so they're not just getting their food at a liquor store. Or
hey, that is important, man. That's crazy because that's exactly how I grew up.
Hey man, that
yeah,
to me,
I got a lot of homies that showed me it, so I got to see it and I got to experience it and really understand what's happening in America, especially in certain neighborhoods, to where it is just liquor stores and laundromats, like, and bars, and they don't have access to food, and people don't know that, and people don't understand that. So, and when people don't know or understand that, they can't understand why a certain person gets angry about something or express their feelings about something, or not doing or thinking the way that they're thinking and how nice their life is, because the other person was able to eat normal food and food that's not highly processed and chemicals and stuff, and they were able to have normal food that feeds your brain. And some people were stuck eating sugar and all kinds of stuff, to where that affects a person tremendously, is your diet. And when you look at those areas and you see that their food choices are super limited, and it's hard for a lot of those people and those families to even leave that city to go get food. Like, they shouldn't have to go to another neighborhood to get quality eggs and milk and meats and stuff and vegetables.
Well, I'll tell you, man, that fake food made us strong, man. Them preservatives, whatever the heck they put in it, bro. I ain't caught COVID.
No, it's because you
bro.
motherfuckers are strong.
Yeah.
MSG,
I-
You'd
sugar,
be way
salt,
stronger.
oil.
You'd be way stronger.
Bro, I think
If you had
I think
real
the cure to
food.
COVID was annihilators. COVID was like, we can't get through. Shit, this thing still hard after 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Nah, dope. So your dream verses, dead or alive.
My dream verse that are alive.
Verses. So you know how like Timberland and Swiss Beats have the verses going on during COVID.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay,
So
yeah.
you could have
Okay.
two people.
That would be. I actually thought about this not too long ago, and I would want Goody Mob versus Lost Boys.
Them your favorite, them your groups, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, I wish Freaky Ty was still around, but
Dang, them really his groups. That's crazy, man.
yeah,
That's
it's
crazy.
I'm huge Lost Boys. Like when it comes to the northern East Coast, it was Lost Boys was like my first ish. I mean, I listened to Gravediggers before that, but like Lost Boys was like it just hit me, and I was just like, damn. Especially like Freaky, I like that voice, like Freaky Ty's voice, and then when I moved down south, and I got introduced to Outkast because I saw their album art at first, and I was like, what the hell is that? And I put that on, and I was just like, what the fuck? And then that introduced me into the whole Dungeon family. And the reason Goody Mob is because Goody Mob, when you listen to their lyrics, all that stuff is matching up right now. Like they were talking about government stuff, they were talking about all kinds of stuff, and how what's in the food and everything, but they couldn't get their voice out. Like Outkast went out and was able to do it, but it took forever for Goody Mob to even get the sunshine or the spotlight, and then CeeLo kind of ran with it. But yeah, it was just those hip hop groups was the ones that like really opened my mind, because I sat there and listened. Like I wanted to like really know what they were like saying, and then I would try to figure out, and then eventually I would see it.
Dope. So this part of the show is dedicated to those that get hustled. The Monkey Hustle Chronicles. So the question to you would be, it could be you or somebody who you know, aka you, or honestly somebody who you know, but what's the craziest hustle you ever seen run on somebody before?
I mean, the craziest hustle that I'm physically watching now, and it's happening all over, but I could see it in Huntington very clearly, is the rehab hustle. You got guys that are standing on the streets with gold chains, gold watches, gold rings, handing out business cards saying, if you bring me somebody, you get $250 to $500. And what they're saying is, if you bring someone that their insurance policy comes in and they can put them in a rehab home, they'll give you money because they get all the insurance money. And the insurance money is a lot of money. And what they do is they find these junkies all over the world, of the country, and they fly them out to California because insurance purposes. And then they get them in, they're making a ton of money. The house is making a ton of money that they put them in. They kick them out in 6 months, wait a little bit, get them back on drugs. They get them a hotel room, get them all fucked up so they can fail a drug test, and they contact their parents again in their insurance, and they get back into the system. And they keep flipping these kids doing that. And that's a gnarly hustle that I've been watching happen in the last probably year or two before COVID, when they took over a whole spot on Main Street. And then they made a movie about it too, called Body Brokers. But like Orange County has like crazy hustles with mortgage. They had the big mortgage hustle here, spam hustle here, the SUO hustle was here, like the big gnarly family taking money hustle. And that's got to be the biggest. Now I've seen a lot of street hustles where people get taken. That's pretty funny, but that's probably the gnarliest that I know.
That sounds deep, man. I know whenever I come out of a grocery store and I see a grown man with a box of candy talking about some, hey man, can I get $1? I'm like, okay, bro. Like, I'm like, how you steal this job from little girls, man? That's crazy. That's what they. I'm like, come on, man. You like,
even thinking of it that way. Now every time I see one of those guys, I'm be like, stop taking kids' jobs.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Are you making the chocolate
for a minor?
You better than this, bro. You can't.
And they got the worst candy ever. They got the fucking giant pixie stick. It's bro, I'm not buying no giant pixie stick from you.
Bro, yeah, it's supposed to be like some special candy. The money's supposed to go to some proceeds or something like that, man.
Yeah, that's that other rehab hustle where they just put Christ in their head and brainwash them and then make them get heroin dose to Christ.
Oh boy, and that reminds me. I tell a joke about this, but I went to a Christian camp one time, and they I remember they had a room. They would like tell the kids, pretty much talk about Jesus, but they'll talk about pretty much saying who's going to go to hell, who's going to go to heaven, who's going to go to hell, and they would bring people up on the screen. And one time they had Mother Teresa up there. And it was like Mother Teresa was a saint. She saved millions of starving children. But too bad she didn't confess that Jesus Christ is her Lord and Savior. So she's currently in hell. And I was like, what the heck? I'm like, they're going hard right now, man. Like, I came here for the marshmallows, man. I did not come here to. I don't care who's in hell right now. What's the best advice anyone's ever given you?
Probably the best advice. Let's see, I've gotten a lot of advice from people. Pretty much is stay true to yourself and don't stop. Like never stop. Because once you stop, it's over. And it could have happened, whatever you're going for, it could have happened just a little bit after you stopped. And I've been living my life that way. And I've just been going and just proving that it's correct. Like you just have to keep going for it and do it the right way and do it any way possible. And you can do whatever the fuck you want.
If you had a biopic, what would it be called?
Hard in the Paint.
I like that. That's a good one.
For sure.
Everybody got good
I even
ones.
had that tattooed on me, a bucket of paint with the word hard being thrown into it.
That is hard. And
then my boy had
Waka Flocka.
Yeah.
Go hard in the paint.
Hard in the paint. You just gotta go. Like when you're there, you just do whatever you have to do. Like, and some people see that as like something that's really aggressive or negative because they think that sometimes you have to do negative things to get what you want. And like same thing with the word hustle. Sometimes the word hustle is like, yeah, there's a very bad version of the word hustle, but there's also like a very good version of that word hustle. And so
Absolutely.
like going hard in the paint and going for it, like you don't have to do dirt to get it going. You just have to put the work into it and just commit. Like you have to just believe in yourself and commit. Because once you believe in yourself and commit, then it's on. It's the self-doubt that gets you the pause or the failure.
And real quick, who play you?
Who play me? Jason Lee. My name is Earl.
Good one. Good one.
Nah, man. You got some good ones, man. You definitely got some good ones. So go ahead, Jeremy.
Well, I was gonna read another chat question real quick.
Not cool.
It said this for all you guys. Are there any specific themes or messages that you hear pushed in popular hip hop now compared to popular hip hop in the past that makes you feel uncertain for the future of the genre?
Mumbling.
Okay.
But I mean, there's the thing is like you can talk shit as much as you want on the bad version of hip hop. That's only going to make the better version even stronger and push through. And my philosophy is what I saw with hip hop when they first started making it and they're going through records and finding the beats. And when you had to go find that song and how that is, that version is still happening with the people who listen to it. Now they're trying to find, they're going on YouTube, they're going on like stuff like the Color Show or these other avenues and trying to find what's not being popular out there on the streaming networks. And there's so much good music out there being made, especially in the hip hop world, that it is like, to me, the new version of going through records and finding that beat. Now you're just trying to find that new artist that you can listen to that gives you that feeling that everybody got with the old school hip hop when they first started hearing it. And then even like some of that stuff back then, the stuff that made it to the radio was like, all right, there were still way better artists that weren't making it to radio. But now it's just more blatant. But yeah, it's just, this scene is just search out that music and have fun finding it, because it's just not going to be handed to you.
You go, Jeremy.
Well, okay. I feel like mine is pretty more blanket. I would say just singing in general. I think rappers are singing too much. You know, like the hottest rap song out right now is he's not even singing. Lil Uzi Vert, I Just Want to Rock or something like that. Like like you don't even know you listen to a rap song until it's over. It's 2 minutes and just I'm like, I don't know what I'm listening to. Like somebody had to tell me. By the time I realized it was an actual rap song and not a commercial, the song was over. So, you know, but yeah, just a lot of singing. You know, I'm not gonna say what's art and what's not. I'll just say that I like my raps to be raps. I know we've gotten away from old school, but just, you know, I like to know what I'm getting. You know, if I'm not buying a rap record, but if I'm listening to a rap record, I want to hear rap. You can have us, like back in the day, they have a new Def Jam artist and they always have one song on there that's like singing, you know.
Yeah.
Like 50 Cent had 21 Questions. He didn't make an album of 21 questions. I'm
Yeah.
not buying that album. I don't need it. That's a whole nother, that's Nate Dogg. I'm willing to listen to 50. So that's just where I'm at right now. It's like the female rappers are harder. You know, they be making like, they be rapping their ass off. And then you get the guys, they be like, I don't want to live here. And they be like, was it a Trippie Redd?
Emo.
I can't get into them because I ain't heard not one rap song yet. You know, so that's just my opinion. That's the one trend I would be like, hey, you know, can we switch it up, please? So get back to rap.
So I would have to come and say, respectfully to you, Machete, and respectfully to you, Jeremy, the music ain't for us, man. It ain't, dude. It ain't even almost for us. It's like, you gotta understand, every generation, the music that's being made is reflecting the times. You know what I'm saying? And so for us, our music reflects what was cracking for us once upon a time. You know, like, it not just the dope music, but like things, experiences, things that are happening in the life and all that kind of stuff. And so then you have hip hop and you sprinkle some commercialisms and some industries and the machine and the man and social media, and you know, you sprinkle all this stuff on it, and man, it's about the most ignorant, partying, void of value, just all of that. You know what I'm saying? That sounds the catchiest. You know what I'm saying? The dopest or whatever.
You're right, but also they're not buying it. So I don't know. Man. Like music ain't selling like it was selling back in the day.
It's not about the music being sold. It's about the corporations being able to take the most ignorant stuff in order to push products. It's different. It's different, man. It's you know, it's different. Over the weekend, I listened to the KRS-One album with my philosophy on it. I listened to Edutainment because I was really like, have I forgotten to listen what it is to listen to an album from beginning to end? Have I gotten like what, like, okay, so what made KRS-One dope? And I was like, dang, the production wasn't hell of a just whatever, but the loops he had were like jovial, they were jolly. And then over that, he was kicking some knowledge. Like, dang, this dude is really, with Google and everything now, it's kind of like
my hot take, right?
You said, huh?
You know my hot take?
I
thought I told this before. Maybe I shouldn't be saying this.
Go ahead.
This is cancel talk right here. KRS-One's okay. He's okay.
That's not cancel talk.
I mean, no, bro. In hip hop, that's blasphemy, man. You ain't allowed to say that. But yeah, he okay. I'm more of a Rakim. You know, Big Daddy. I can name a bunch of guys like KRS, man. It's like, and I'm gonna tell you what he really should be stopped. This dude created beefs in hip hop. He started that crap. Niggas died because he had an attitude one day. You know what I'm saying? So I know you peace, love, and kumbaya now, but bro, you know what I mean? Like, you the reason the genre's toxic.
I can see that.
So I honestly, when people be like, man, we need that real hip hop, I'll be like, yeah, you know, that hardcore old school stuff. Yeah. I'm like, oh, like Big Daddy Kane, yeah. Rakim, yeah. KRS-One, I'm like, stop. That's okay. We don't need. It's okay.
Oh man.
I'm sorry. Hey man.
You understand?
But yeah, go ahead though. You was making a point.
Oh, man, you done sucked all the air out of that one, man. That's a wrap.
It's a hot take. I know I ain't supposed to. I've been holding it in.
That's a wrap. I'll say this. I'll say I just listened to those two albums, but the reason why the boom bap and all that makes me feel a certain way. Cause like, man, that was like junior high school going into high school. You know what I'm saying? Very formative with like very dope stuff going on at the time. So I connect to that. The kids right now, they've bypassed just being lucky enough to have a car in high school. It gotta be a Benz, it gotta be a Beamer, they gotta be going, they need to go to a party where they're getting lit. You know what I'm saying? It has to be illicit, this, that, and the third. And while all that's going on, they're doing it on Facebook Live or the Gram. You know what I'm saying? And so I say all that to say, the corporations get busy with that because, dude, they're not spending the money that they used to have to spend in order to advertise something or market something or whatever. And these young dudes, they don't even understand that they're doing all the advertisement for everything.
Yeah.
For free. They're doing it for free. And it's just like everybody's a just straight up consumer, dude.
You're right.
Put it this way. Now, not to condone drug selling and all that kind of thing, but in the 90s, you had music that could at least teach you a way to do something. You know what I'm saying? This is the culture we got right now. And I'm gonna get off my rant. I'm gonna walk away from this. But the culture we got right now, they just straight up scammers, dude. That's all.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
They not even worried about the longevity of the hustle, man. It's about, man, let me get it, and then we figure it out later. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree. KRS-One is trash. So that was a great point. Yeah. I'm kidding, chat. Leave me alone. Don't come for me. Only thing I have to say is peace, love, unity, and having fun. These are the lyrics of KRS-One.
Oh man. But no, I've witnessed some things that have been less than, godly, myself, in person. So, I just looked at this. I look at that like, you know what? Sometimes you have to not look at the messenger, but digest the message, because we human, man. You know what I'm saying? Not to just make that the disclaimer for everything, but it's just like, man, I'll tell you this, KRS-One stopped me from eating meat from like 89 to probably 2004.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, because it's talking about the pork, the
Edutainment, man. That album came out, it was powerful, man.
Yeah.
And that's why there'll never be another one like it. Or Public Enemy and all that old stuff, dude. It'll never be no music like that, dude.
They ain't gonna put no money into these people.
That music, dude, KRS-One's Edutainment was powerful enough to stop me from eating meat from 89 to like 2004.
What? That long?
Yeah. Yeah. Nah, man. That's too much. Power. Nah, man, that's too much power, man. I'm not simple. You know what I'm saying? It did a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? It did a lot of people. So I'm gonna hit you up, Machete, with the last. How do you see social interaction working itself out in the next 2 years?
I think there's going to be, right now we're going through the new birth of the underground. So like in 2 years, there's going to be a whole scene that we could say that can comparable to back in the day, but it's going to be a bit of a different vibe. But I feel like the art and culture is about to explode within the next 2 years, because a lot of more people learned about more facts and stuff and more creativity when they got stuck in their houses, and they got to see that the white picket fence 401k dream isn't as safe as everybody grew up thinking it was going to be. And so there's a new breed of people right now, and in the younger generation, that yes, there's a bunch that are doing all the dumb TikTok stuff and yada yada yada, but everybody does dumb stuff in their kids. But they got an opportunity now to where they were able to be out of school and trying to figure out things on their own. So I believe social interaction in the next 2 years is definitely going to get better, and it's going to be just more like artistic, I believe. Like there's just going to be cooler, crazier things in both spaces of outside and even inside the weird virtual world that keeps growing and growing and growing. There's going to be the artist and artistry in there, and then there's going to be interaction with the laziness, but of staying home and interacting. But there's going to be that pull of having to go outside and experience outside again. And because now people are going to be stuck with their VR headsets for so long, that there's going to be that breach of a group of people that are going to want to experience outdoor and bring back a lot of weird stuff that you could do outdoors and enjoy it and broadcast it and create art off of it, and a lifestyle, virtual lifestyle.
Before we close out, I'm gonna call an audible. You first, Jeremy, then you, Machete. I'm gonna say this word, and I just want you to just let me know a little bit about what comes to mind when you hear this word. It was a conversation I had today with my homeboy. Artificial intelligence.
Oh, me first?
Yeah. AI.
Well, first is the movie. But it came out with the kid, the I See Dead People kid. Secondly, you say AI, I think Allen Iverson. I respect him before I respect the robot. Third, I think a GPT. and how that's going to ruin the world because it's stifling creativity, and it makes me not want to use self-checkouts anymore.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what comes to mind.
All right, you, Machete?
So for me, I know all the negative stigma and with the possibility how bad AI could get, but it's also, we're going to be able to curate and get certain things done faster. But like how you're saying, how it's going to stump creativity. The thing is the creativity from AI is going to get stumped. But what people do with it after is where the magic's going to happen. And if we use it to create better things and an easier lifestyle for humans and not into the industrial world and war, we could have a really nice life where we could experience other things instead of trying to do most mundane tasks or responsibilities that we either have at our job or with society. And we could ultimately use AI to be a better human and be better to explain things to people and people to learn a little bit quicker to get through some shit that shouldn't take all of high school and middle school to keep learning the same thing over and over. People could find faster ways to learn the certain topics and get past it to where we could actually learn the human experience instead of bullshit history and math that we'll never use. And we could actually maybe learn from each other faster. I'm hoping. That's my view of it.
Yeah, yeah, that's that is, I'll tell you this, and then we'll close out. I really didn't understand AI. I mean, I heard about the music and whatever, but somebody said, you notice how when you type sentences on your phone and it'll remember certain words that you say, and it'll like end your sentences, and it'll correct grammar into and da 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 da. I'm like, dang, I kind of feel like if the phone is learning me, you know what I'm saying? They need to be paying me, man.
But the problem is, and this is how they got us all, is when you first turn that phone on, they have a whole contract, terms and conditions, but you want to get that phone on so bad, you just be like, agree.
Yeah, no one reads it.
And that agree is, hey, we can take as much of you as you want. But every now and then you get somebody to read it and they'll send it to you. They go, hey, look, we revised it, blah, blah, blah. And they say, do you agree? And you go like, yeah, I know y'all. It's like either you agree or you don't get the upgrade. So
and I constantly get like, because I'm probably one of the last people. I've Samsung. And so I'll get Samsung. Like maybe once a month, once every 2 months, they'll say your service agreement has just been updated. And it's like, I didn't agree to that, but I guess,
That's some random person who they caught a loophole. They made their money off of it and they had to correct it. That's just like with Apple. This happened like probably like 3 years ago. Pretty much. So they have privacy, right? As far as like you can't get like ads or whatever, but they didn't have internal privacy with apps where basically any app you have can follow your phone movements throughout anything you do on your phone. So somebody called them out on it, went through legislation, they made their money off of it. So, but how it affected us, they just said now you get the option, like, is it okay? They have to ask you, is it okay to track you amongst other apps? You know what I mean? But that's the stuff we catch. Imagine what we don't catch. For every one that somebody caught, there's like probably 10 or 20 that are not catching, so it's all screwed up. But I think you're right. It's definitely a benefit. And I know human evolution, kind of goes, that's like, people are always scared of technology. Like I remember my godmother told me a story about a microwave. pretty much, of course, it's radiation, it's killing you and all that stuff. But she just couldn't believe when the microwave was first introduced. Her son went and she said, "Heat that up for me in the oven." He came back a minute later. She said, "That's not done." He was like, "It's done." And she see steam coming off of it. She said, "That's witchcraft." So I guess that's what Chat GPT is, whatever. But I man, Skynet, bro. That's the only thing I got to say.
Yep, I mean, it's definitely a possibility.
Oh man. Well, man, hopefully one day we'll be able to boost Splendid Radio up to the point where we could do a patio takeover, man, and get something popping out.
Yeah, I'm in. We could do it next week.
I like that.
We'll go out there and get it popping and turn it up. Well, dude, Machete, dude, I really appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? We definitely got other stuff that we gonna, pull together and get it right. You real quick, Jeremy, you have any upcoming shows, anything you want to let us know about?
Yeah, I mean, well, we don't have enough time for me to saw my shows, but no. This weekend I'll be in Portland and Seattle. I'm in Portland on Friday, Seattle on Saturday. Then next week I'll be in Memphis, Tennessee. And next month I'll be in Yonkers, New York City. Or that's not New York City, this is New York.
Yeah, Yonkers.
Yeah, that's a home of DMX and the Locks.
Yeah, the Locks.
Yeah, I'll be up in there.
Nope. And you I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say Jeremy Comedy on Instagram. That's it.
Yeah, in the name of your special?
Sociopath.
don't say it like that, man. It's funny, man.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you. I need to market myself.
Yeah. And you, Machete, what you got going down?
I jumped on a project recently with a movie, and it's unbelievable. We're gonna announce where it's gonna be streamed soon, but it's right now it's called Bora, and to find it, it's Bora the movie on Instagram, BORA. It's I mean, I was speechless after I finally saw the final product. Like, it's unbelievable. I'm stoked to be part of it and stoked to help push it. And when people see it, it's going to blow their mind. And then, everybody check out the HB Patio. We're about to upgrade to a warehouse and then eventually do festivals. And we're going to travel everywhere, and we're going to just bring art, culture, and love and happiness to the world. It's like we just need more of it and more genuine art and just a passion. And we just want to help other people push their passion. So let's go.
Less fast food in the hood.
Yeah, less fast food, man. Less fast food, less liquor stores. We gotta get real food, real restaurants, and being taking care of everybody. There's no reason why it should be like that.
And where can they follow you on Instagram?
My personal is AKA Machete. And then my business wise will be the HB Patio and Dryman Products. And this will be done as my marketing. So all super simple. You can find one, you'll find the rest. And and I'm always open for conversations.
Let's go. I'll follow you right now.
Well, hey man, I got a conversation on some sponsorship, man. We'll get into that in the next couple of days. I've been hearing about this butter, man.
Yeah, I got you. It works. It's a funny name, man, but it's a real product and it does wonders. Unbelievable wonders, bro. Any skin problem, takes care of it.
No. Hey man, I appreciated my HB Patio goodie bag, man. Like, they take care of you here, man.
We try to do our best to give back. We try to give everything we have, and eventually it'll be a lot.
All good. Well, no, man, this has been Splendid Radio on PharcydeTV, dude. I appreciate you guys.